Now, judging by the fact that if you go to Diablo fans and look at the undocumented changes, you'll notice a lot of the undocumented changes are really just grammatical changes, not really changes to skills. A few here and there, and most of the changes are fairly minor. A few things got reworked and rearranged. The monk definitely got some interesting changes. 2 of the spirit generators for the monk got turned into spirit spenders, so there are some tweaks they're still testing out and doing, but a lot of this is becoming polish. They are getting closer and closer. I'm fairly certain they're going to be giving us a date soon, just based on that. Alright, one of my favorite abilities has been unlocked, and that is Leap Attack, which has been renamed to Leap. Let's see, it is defensive based. Leap, generate 15 Fury, cooldown of 10 seconds, leap into the air, dealing 85% weapon damage to all enemies within 8 yards of your destination, and slowing their movement speed by 60% for 3 seconds. Now, at this point, what I'm going to do is take a look at the... Yeah, I'm level 8, so they kind of changed this around a bit, because according to the calculator on the Blizzard page, I should have gotten a rune for cleave, and at this point would have gotten ground stomp, which we already got. This leap would have been at level 9, but hey, that's okay. So let's take a look at leap. So it has been... well, changed just a bit here. In patch 13, it was buffed from 100% weapon damage up to 125%, and my guess on that one was to compensate for the loss of... sorry, I'll go in here. My guess was to compensate for the loss of damage here on Ground Stomp. But now, with patch 14, the ability was renamed from Leap to Leap Attack, and reduced from the 125% weapon damage down to 85%. Now, that means is that it was nerfed from patch 13, obviously, but it is still, and it was even nerfed even further apparently, because originally, again, being 100%, so it's even nerfed from the original value. So they brought it up, and then brought it down. But what they have done to compensate here is it slows enemies in the landing zone, which it didn't used to do, and that is from this patch. So that you get a 60% movement speed reduction on them. So you can leap in. So it becomes a great offensive, and again, it's under defense, but it can become great offense or defense ability because you can jump in, generate fury, and if monsters are quick and you're having a hard time chasing them down, leap will slow them down. And now, of course, you can also just use it to get away, like so. Here they are following me. Only to die. So damage lost, but a little bit of utility gained. Okay, we'll worry about the next stuff as we go along. So unfortunately my pre-planning to try and avoid slowdowns of abilities as I learn them has kind of backfired on me, as now the abilities I'm given are in a different order and changed, of course. See, I'm looking forward to the Jar of Souls event. I want to do that on this patch. With the increase to monster damage, I want to see how that event feels, especially as a melee character. You know, I don't have ways of really getting around, you know, getting around them and trying to hitting them from a distance. You know what I'm noticing? I just kind of glanced at the upper right-hand corner at my clock, and I think they changed the font of the clock. I think it used to be the same font as the level here. I think they used to be the same. Now it's got a slightly different color, maybe to make it stand out a bit. I'll have to go back and look at that. I could just be remembering it wrong. After all, I don't really look at it, except for on occasion if I want to know the time, and even then I've got a watch on my wrist, so I don't really need it. So maybe I'll take a look at that, and when I do some of it, because I will be comparing, I will be doing videos for the other classes in order to kind of go over their changes. I may just combine it into one massive video that goes over the patch 14 changes for every class. Of course, since I'm doing the Barbarian now, I won't have to do that, but I can certainly go over the other 4. Apparently I chose the right tomb. Or crypt, whichever.
Need more time.
I get to fight Mengelmaw now.
I'm on the right path. The crown must be near.
Hey there, buddy. Well, it's hard to see if he's really doing a lot of damage because I'm stunning him a lot. Look at that. For a 20% chance to stun, that's hitting him a hell of a lot. And I think it's a good thing, too, because look at this. Lost half of my health there. 158, so he was hitting me. And not too softly, either. Yeah, +2/+2, that's a +1. Yuck. Darn. Otherwise I would have used it. More DPS. I still might go to that. We'll wait on it for now. So the value of health globes has definitely increased in my book. And there we go, 25% damage reduction. That is actually kind of important right now. This might not be good. There we go. I was a little concerned that I leaped myself into a position I wasn't going to like.
No, I will not allow you to bring that monster Leoric back to this world.
Still recharging.
Gold Pinata. Foreboding Lesser Wand of Wounding. Wow, 3 affixes on this thing. 1 to 3 additional damage, +2 to maximum arcane power, and critical hits grant 2 arcane power. Nice. I wonder if they increased the number of affixes that these elite packs are dropping early in the game. or elite monsters. He's not technically a pack, although he can hit like one. Alright, so looking at this, it looks to me like the art for the town portal has been adjusted a little bit. It matches kind of the motif of the other buttons on the bar now. Is that a new sound effect for using... It's a new sound effect. It's got kind of a chime to it now. Undocumented changes abound here, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to say hopefully you heard it here first, but many of you are probably watching live streams right now. Unfortunately, I've never really looked into that possibility. Who knows? Maybe someday. But for now, I'm content with YouTube. So it lets me edit before I put anything up. Supposedly some of these live streams, they can, while they're streaming, it'll also record so they can post it on YouTube. Oh, look into that more. I'm not opposed to it. I just don't know anything about it, really. Don't try and run away. Look, I got a frenzied shrine. I will hit you fast. Unfortunately, you become immune, which means hitting you fast means nothing. No, come back, come back. I forbid you to leave. Okay, work my way out of that group. Yeah, I'm starting to find more double affix items that didn't happen before. So it looks like they've given us more proc chances on lower level items. In this case, 3 dexterity and health and gold pickup and yardage increased. So this is kind of like what you would see in Diablo 2. Occasionally you would get the double proc items, you know, the prefix like gathering and then the suffix of the hawk. You know, in that case, you know, you did start to see those a bit earlier on in D2, I believe, and now you're getting it here. Unfortunately, no Jar of Souls, but let's see what I do here. This stun is almost overpowering. Especially with Frenzied Shrine. I mean, 20% chance when they're attacking that fast is, it's happening very frequently. But even without Frenzied Shrine, you saw on Manglemaw that on him alone I was able to stun him enough to avoid taking damage. There's a lot of skeletons coming after me here. Let's try and stun him, take out his skeletons maybe. There it is. I got a globe, but my health is not going up terribly fast. There we go. So I got low. Not dying, but I got low. As you can see here, I'm already at half health, so I'm going to be probably in a little bit of trouble here unless I play a little carefully here. Okay. What I'm going to do is use this to my advantage here. And I leveled. That's all I really needed. New active skill. There's Rupture, which I expected to get earlier. Ancients. Ooh. Pardon me, but that is nice. We did not get Ancient Spear before. I am happy. Alright. Just a sec. Okay, I took the liberty of looking it up real quick. Apparently it hasn't really changed at all from its last incarnation. Ancient Spear, generate 15 Fury, 10-second cooldown. Throw a spear to pull an enemy back to you, briefly slowing the target's movement by 60% and dealing 185% weapon damage. Now, I find that interesting that it not only pulls them in and slows them, but it does a lot of damage. 185 is actually a pretty decent chunk of damage. So I could use that just as a damage dealer. Even if I don't need to pull them in, I could just hit them with that. That's 185. That's more than, Bash, or maybe not Hammer of the Ancients. That's 200, but that's still, it's every 10 seconds to be able to use that and generate Fury is really nice. Looks like we won't be getting the first rune on that, unfortunately, but that's a nice rune. Throw 3 spears. Each spear will pull back the enemy that it hits, so you get 3 guys coming at you. I like that. While I normally really like Leap, the idea of using Ancient Spear to pull them in, what you could really do is combine Ancient Spear with, like, Ground Stomp to stun the enemy. When you pull them in, then you can stun them right after. I will have to think on that. For now, I'm just going to use it. Look at that. Oh, I was not expecting to be able to play around with that. And it looks like the icon for the event is still not there. At this point, I think it's just intentional. Adventuring Lumber Axe grants +3 experience. So, I'm going to go ahead and use that because I've got 2 here and 2 here. That's 1 less experience per kill. Let's look at my details really fast. And I'm getting 30 per kill, so 29. That won't hinder me too much, really. Maximum Fury. There is no Fury generation, apparently, so there shouldn't be any Fury generation items, although there is a Fury generation passive. So, alright. Damage increased by strength, damage increased by skills, attacks per second. There's a lot of information here. Now, it's a bit late to be saying this since I should have gone over this with the general changes. One thing that they have announced is that there should be ability enhancing gear out there at later levels. So, and that's what people have been wondering, like with the loss of runes, since runes don't drop anymore. Well, that's nice, just +3 strength. So instead of runes dropping, and people wondering that, it's like, well, now you really just have your skill builds, and of course there is some diversity in gear, but people using the same skill are going to kind of be the same there, without the runes to enhance the skills. So what they said is, what they're going to do is add affixes in higher difficulties. More than likely it's going to be just Inferno at this point, but they're going to have affixes that will enhance skills, and they've asked is it's going to be like the runes, where it's like, this rune does +X% more or something like that. It sounds to me more like they might have items that enhance the skill itself, like it might say leap attack does X more damage or something like that. So we won't really know for sure what they have in mind for us unless they give us some screenshots, or until the game comes out, probably. But that's kind of a noteworthy change that you guys might want to know about. So there will be different affixes on gear that will make your characters different. So don't worry about that diversity loss. They're thinking about you guys. They're gonna make it. They're gonna make it right. Have faith. Have faith in the Blizzard. Alright, taking a little getting used to having a slower attack speed at this point. Wow, a Resplendent Chest. And it really did have a lot of stuff in it. That's like finding a gold chest at the end of a dungeon in the last game. That's nice to see, because Resplendent Chests, when I found them before, were lacking. So this is a nice change. I'm going to have to go back to town and put some of this back so I don't keep losing myself in inventory. Alright. 30 crit. With a slower weapon, I probably want Ground Stomp anyway, because that extra stun lets me put out more hits. I think for now, as much as I like Leap, I'm going to put Ground Stomp back on. I'm having to think about it a little more. Before, I wasn't, you wouldn't take that much damage, so you really didn't have to worry about, do I need a stun? Do I need something to survive? Now, with these groups kind of coming at me, I kind of need to think about that a bit more. Of course, now that I've got a two-hander, Hammer of the Ancients is hitting pretty hard. And I don't have to spam it as much, so I can conserve my fury. I'm not generating as much fury, but I'm not spending it near as fast either because of the massive hit. Something to be considered when you're thinking about making a two-hand versus a dual-wield build. Knockback grotesques. Alright, there we go. We done here? Oh, not quite. Let's check the other corner. Just checking the levels there. It looks like these are still 14 and 19. Passives are still 10. So no major changes there. Come here. Get over here! Finish him. Barbarian wins. Flawless victory. Okay, nothing special over there other than a couple grotesques. I got to play around with my ancient spear, though. I've kind of wanted to use that ability before. I'm glad they gave it to us. Not even going to use that. Going to just use this.
You found the crown. Ah, it needs repair. Should be no problem. It's good to work again. There. New as the day it was placed upon the Black King's head. I need something more than making spades to occupy my mind. I want my life to mean something.
Then follow me and hone your skills. There is deadly work to be done, and I will need your arms. I have grave news. Your apprentice is dead.
Fool boy. Hope for the worst and you will not be disappointed. Thank you for the news.
Okay, I'm going to hold on to that because that has no level requirement on it. So put that back in here. And in there, and I don't need these anymore. Now, as you can see, all that stuff I disenchanted, I didn't get a single fallen tooth, which I might have gotten those before. So that has been reduced, the amount of those you get.
Leoric's crown has been reforged.
At last.
I will crush him.
I wish that Leia could live a different life, a more normal life. But alas, such is not her fate. When I pass, there is none but her to continue my work, and the future of this world hangs in the balance.
Uncle Deckard is home, rescued from the clutches of the Skeleton King. I'm so glad. But the Skeleton King, I thought he was a folktale. The idea of Mad King Leoric returning to torture this place. Hasn't Tristram suffered enough?
Oh, look what I found. I have some pretty pink booties. Aren't they fabulous?
Got a right good bunch of things for you this fine day.
Look at all the items he sells now. Adventuring Gathering. Adventuring Bracers of Thorns. There you go. There's even 2 affixes procking on this item. But look at the cost. 1,410. Ye gods, man. Ye gods. You be gouging your prices. Ah. Okay, well, it makes sense, though. You can sell items for a higher price. But, of course, that means he'll buy it at a high price. So yes, they sell high, but you also have to buy high. So there, slight change there. Ooh, look at that. +4 with thorns. I'll have to look over some of these because there's some nice procs here now. I mean, you know, apologies to those of you who don't like watching me doing window shopping. I mean, come on, how else am I going to find the proper accessories for these boots? All right, please. But this is actually bringing up a very interesting point here, is that these items are now proccing more affixes on them for these lower levels, and that's really nice to see. So there's more variety back here. Just checking to see what else is down here. It looks like before, and I didn't put this in a video, there was the die remover in his inventory. Even though dies are not in the beta, he had the remover. Which I kind of wish I did have the dies. I'd kind of like to see the way I could change these and see if these could be moved from a pink to a different color. But
Look, I'm happy to sell to you, but you got to promise not to
all
tell
right,
me
defense.
where you got these goods from, okay?
Looks like he specifically. So it looks like they're kind of organizing it here. He specifically sells bows at this point. A few other pieces of armor. But no miscellaneous. So that's what I wanted to see, because if they put the die remover in, then there was a chance that maybe eventually dies would sneak their way into the beta without letting any of us know. But it looks like the die remover has just been removed as well. So they removed the remover. Removerception. What about you? Oh, this is slightly new. Health potions now. I knew they had lesser health potions before. But now he sells regular health potions, which you can start using at level 11. So that's an interesting change. Higher level potions from this merchant. Hello. I've never seen this before. A History of New Tristram. And it didn't do anything. Is it in here maybe? Let's find out. Leah 3, Imp, Inbound. Yeah, it's not there anymore. The history, I've not seen that before, or at least I never moused over it to catch it. I don't know if it's ever been there, or if it did anything, so that's new to me. I will keep an eye out for stuff like that from this point on, I think. It's real easy to miss those. See, there it is. There's the book. It's back, but I can't click on it now. Just kind of hoping to learn a little bit of lore there. Looks like Aemon's thing is here.
My dearest Heydrich, do not feel despair, my love. You did everything you could. Our time together meant more than words can say. But in the end, fate is a cruel mistress. Your strength is needed to end the horrors that beset this world. My final wish is that you find your path. Love always.